Good morning, everybody. Wakanda forever. It's the pollinator, and this is going to be an interesting video log of mine. But I want to make a couple of announcements. First of all, I just received an email that Google Plus is going away. Everything that anybody has ever done with that platform, they need to, I hope they all got an email. They need to follow all of the instructions and download everything to do with Google Plus for any accounts that they have, because it's going away in April. So that's number one. Number two is that, what was number two? Well, if you stumbled upon this platform, if you've stumbled upon my channel, and you like the content of which you see, please subscribe and click the bell to get notifications of when I do uploads. There have been technical difficulties throughout the history of YouTube of those notifications, especially lately. I think maybe the platform is could be getting overloaded, so they're not, the notifications don't come out immediately. Well, sometimes never. Also, there is a link. I put descriptions in these videos after I upload them. And there is a link that if you subscribe to my channel that you will see. Well, you'll see it even if you don't subscribe. And it's did I say PayPal link? Anyway, PayPal link that would throw this brother a few dollars. I am trying to raise a little money to get some video editing, good video editing software. So I could use any help. Hey, maybe somebody can buy one for me, like one of the Adobe video editing products. Anyway, enough logistics. So this, what did I do with my little, so this topic is going to be probably controversial, although I don't, get much controversy here. It's when I put them over on other channels that I may or may not get comments over there on that platform. But this one is very, could be a very hot topic. And I'm probably going to make this a topic for one of the collaborative lives that I do occasionally with trans men. So what is it going to be about? It's going to be about alpha males. Alpha men. Okay, I've been watching a few guys, and one in particular that is very, very good about breaking down the differences between alpha males, beta males, men of that nature, and having the kind of mindset that prevents men from being weak, being seen as weak men by women. If there's anything that I learned in my last relationship, it was that I don't ever want to be used that way again. I don't ever want to come across as weak to women or anybody for that matter. I get a lot of people pushing back. Now, excuse me, let me tell you something about alpha males. They don't put up with shit, okay? They are the kings of their kingdom. And if people don't like it, they can kick rocks. That's basically the attitude of an alpha male. Now, there's somewhat of a crab syndrome. Not even somewhat. There is a syndrome going on called the crab syndrome, where if one crab tries to jump away from the pack of the crabs, the other ones will pull their claws up and pull them back down into their way of thinking, into their ways of behaving. And I'm correlating this and crossing over to humanity, because there's a whole line of thinking out there, and the media supports it, the government supports it, everything and its mother in society supports it, especially in the United States, that, you know, in order for you to be attractive to the gender of your choice, in my case, women, that you have to follow particular practices and behaviors and mannerisms and speaking and things like that in order to attract women to you. But then there's also the alpha male thinking of thought that if you aren't like the millions and billions of men out there who are in that bucket called, this is what you do, this is what you say, this is how you react, this is how you don't really react, this is how you, that if you don't stay in that bucket, then you're not going to attract women. So this particular guy, and I'm not going to even mention his name because he is a cisgender male. He is a cisgender man, and he's basically he's holding things over for cisgender men that trans men cannot do. In other words, even though we can give a woman our last name through marriage, we cannot reproduce with them with our, well, we don't have sperm. So we cannot reproduce with women. So he's telling men that, you know, they are kings because they have a last name and because they can give that woman sons or daughters, children, basically. But here's the thing. I saw one of his recent videos where he showed a video of what happened, some 3 guys and a woman during Valentine's Day. That, yeah, they tell you to go out there and buy them roses and candy and flowers and gifts and all these things during a holiday like that. And the gist of he kept saying, watch the men. Don't watch the woman, watch the men. And he was warning all the guys in advance that it's going to trigger them if they watch the woman. In the end, the woman had 3 men all saying how great she was, how this she was, how intelligent she was, how that she was. And in the end, 3 different men were sending roses, were sending flowers to the same woman. And of course, a lot of the men did not listen to, they did not follow in direction very well. So they got upset and started calling the women names. And he jumped out and said, no. I told you guys not to say nothing, you know, not to be harping on the woman because she's doing what she's been taught to do. What it is what have men been taught to do? What have strong men been taught to do? And strong men, alpha male, does not, and I repeat, does not mean that you are an asshole, that you are toxic, that you are misogynist, that you are hyper masculine. It doesn't mean any of those things. It basically means you know who you are, you know what you want, and you don't put up with the manipulation and strength of the power of the pussy. That you don't fall for the okie doke. You don't fall for any of that stuff that not only women, but men will tell you to be about with regards to women. Of course, it's going to, with us, for me anyway, you know, the dating pool shrunk. When I realized that I am a trans man and that I didn't exactly fit into the LGBT umbrella when it came to my wants, needs, and desires and what I'm looking for in a woman. And now I really don't fit under that umbrella because I am an alpha male. I have, you know, along the lines of the live I just shot on Fuckerbook, you know, my manhood is defined by me, defined by what I learn, what I observe, what I talk with other men about. And it's a process. And in the end, and because of that relationship that I was in, it became real clear to me that the issue on my end, which is all I can do anything about, was that I was being weak-minded. Not weak physically, not weak emotionally, even though it could be argued that I was weak emotionally. And the thing with that is, I have to take responsibility and accountability for exposing that to the point that somebody could come along and take advantage of it. And that becoming a strong man does not mean that I become an asshole man or that I just become insufferable or intolerable. No. It means that I am the king of my kingdom. And if I come across somebody who attempts to take me off my throne, then I need to just keep it moving, see? And don't fall for the things that men typically fall for. In fact, he's very good, this guy, at helping you grow as a man, to become a strong man. And I am mature enough to read between the lines and not just take anything he says and try to implement it or run with it. Because he has a dating class. He's got a dating class, but he also has a lot of free videos that he is teaching men how to be men versus how to be these whiny ass, sniveling, weak men who go with the flow, who go with how everybody tells them to be in the world, and they end up hurt over and over again. Oh, by the way, I did a professional video shoot yesterday. This is Saturday, so I did it on Thursday, and I'm waiting for it to be edited and delivered to me, or I'll have to go pick it up or whatever on a flash drive. But the lady who shot that video said that she was going to edit out all the times that I say, And I sat and thought about it, and I've seen enough of my videos, because I do play them back and watch them, that there have been very great public speakers in the United States that said a lot. President Obama was one of them. So I tried to critique that, how much I do that, and to see if it was bothersome to me. I don't particularly care what other people think. It's about how, is my message coming across, even if I do say a lot. I don't even know why I do that. I do that a lot. So now I'm noticing it and seeing if it's enough of a critique to try to practice not saying that. You know how hard it is to practice something you don't even notice you're doing? I don't notice when I'm doing it. And I'm not a professional speaker, journalist, things like that. I'm not a professional. But I have watched other people who don't do that, and they talk very fast and don't say a lot because they don't miss a beat. They Okay, so let's go back to this topic. Alpha male. I'm gonna put a link in the description of this video pointing to the definition of that I'm speaking. Because look, there's so many people who do not want very many alpha males in society. With men, there's a big competition thing going on, and the more you separate yourself from the pack, the more of a target you become, and the more of a probably problems you'll get from other people who want you, who do the crab syndrome to try to grab you back down to being the way that they want you to be. This topic was also spurred on because I am mentoring a young man who, boy, it is so freaking clear to me that he is stuck in the beta male way of thinking or the feminist way of thinking. Just think about that. I'm not hating on feminists. I'm just saying that they are the ones who generated these kinds of men to suit what they want. This young man is in a very similar situation that I was in, where the woman kept turning everything around to distract from her manipulative behavior and her being all about herself and her being self-centered and her being all sorts of things that didn't cater to him at all, while throwing him a bone out there every once in a while to make him think that she was being about him when she was still just being about herself. And I'll be working with this young man to try to help him be the alpha male he wants to be. You know, it's real easy to say you're something, just attach a label to yourself or attach a descriptor to yourself or attach whatever you want to yourself to make it sound like you are a particular way with people. And it's another thing to actually be that without being an idiot about it, without being an asshole, dysfunctional, toxic, hyper-masculine asshole about it. You don't have to be, that's not what it means. But for people, excuse me, for people who tell you that's what it means, they equivalence alpha male to those things, they're just another crab trying to tell you, oh no, don't do that, don't be that, that's not going to make it easy for us to take advantage of you. This is a really funny world, and it takes a lot of critical thinking in order for you not to be a sheep, for you not to be a wimp, for you not to be weak, for you not to just go with the flow, do the okie doke thing. It takes a lot of courage and strength, emotional and mental strength, in order not to do that, so that you think everybody likes you. That's the end goal for the other side, whether it be male, female, whoever they are. That is the end goal, is that if you don't act like the crowd of sheep, then we're not going to like you. But see, a man, a real man, is not going to care how popular he is. And that's really all I'm going to say about that particular guy. But because he is a teacher, he really knows what's going on when it comes to men. And he makes a distinction between a man and his thinking and a male and his thinking. There's billions of males running around. There are not a whole lot of men running around. You know, he goes so far to say there is a time and a place to cater to a woman, but for the most part, up front, no. You don't do that. They cater to you. The whole premise behind what he teaches is exactly that. To be about being a man. Not be about what women want you to be about. But to be driven by what you want and what you will not accept. And that you will. Now, he is, well, to a lot of women, he's a sexist jerk. Because he gets what he wants. And he's not part of the herd or part of the crowd. And other men, you got to be careful about the other men around you and what they say to you as well, even your closest friends. Because they're not necessarily behaving and thinking like alpha males. and they will tell you to do something that will result in you becoming a beta male or some other kind of male, feminist type of male. I brought that up. I brought something up like that in my last video, that the problem I have with non-binary people is they tend, I'm just talking about tendencies, but they tend to have a feminist mindset, not a male mindset, and they most definitely are not men. And I am going to stand on my own. I don't care what these feminists think. I don't care what these people who don't identify as a man, I don't care what they think. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do in terms of trying to discredit me or take me down a peg or two or whatever. Whatever they do, whatever they say, I'm not going to let it happen because I don't have to. If I'm my own man, why would I allow that? Because I'm not my own man. I'm part of the sheep, part of the herd. Not thinking on my own, not growing on my own, not standing up and being a strong person. And a lot of people have told me that I am a strong person. And at the time, I wasn't willing to own that because I didn't want to come across to people or to women as though strong equal asshole or strong equals something negative. By the same token, I express emotion. I'm not afraid to be emotional. Does that make me weak? Because a lot of people accuse emotional men of being weak men. That's not the same, and it's probably why women die. You know, there's less men on the planet than women because they just die earlier. They don't express emotion. They bottle that shit up, and a lot of them end up with heart attacks because of that. So my inner circle consists of people who I feel safe to express my emotions to, no matter what they are. And they're especially the ones that could be interpreted as being weak. See, those people won't take advantage of that. And women won't use their emotions to manipulate me. See, if she's whoever you are, if you're the right woman for me, you will not attempt to manipulate me with emotions. Crying is a big one. They cry to get what they want, type of thing. I remember being that way when I was younger, and someone very, very close to me, a male figure in my life, would get angry when I did that. At the time, I didn't understand why. Yeah, I didn't understand why he was angry. Because I was not crying because I was trying to manipulate him. I was crying because the things that he said and what was going on for me at the time hurt terribly. It happened to be the time when I lost my career. At the time I lost my career, which was 2001. And something went down that to this day makes me sad when I think about it. And when I asked for help from that man, he said no, and I began to cry. Because I was getting ready to lose my fucking everything I'd ever worked for in my life. So back to being, and guess what? He's an alpha male. He's an alpha man. Should make a distinction. Alpha male or alpha man. It makes no difference. The key word is alpha. You can run around saying you're alpha all day long, but if you're acting beta, you're going to get treated like a beta. If you are a transgender person who's a feminist, but masculine, okay, I'm not really part of that world, but but I've heard some of the terminology. If you're a masculine identified, non-binary, gender non-conforming person, I don't even know why you'd even use masculine as one of your descriptors, because guess what? That means you are binary in some sense. But if you're one of those kinds of men or beta men, you're just gonna get taken advantage of every time. And women act like that's really the kind of man that they want, but they'll go after alpha men on the down low. They really don't want a weak man. They do and they don't. And of course, I'm gonna have to stay in this place to see what happens in my life and to learn from that man. How to be, what to say, what to do, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of things I already know how to do because of my age and maturity level and experience. But there's a lot of things that I don't, as far as standing on my own and away from the pack and not being influenced by the crowd and not being a sheep. If there's anything anybody can say about me, it is that I am a leader, that I don't, whether anybody is following me or not, I'm a leader. That doesn't, who's following me doesn't make me the leader. It's the way that I'm being, not saying one thing and being another, saying I'm this, but I'm being that. The proof is in my results. That is where the proof is. Whether I'm really what I say I am, I'm really who I say I am. And I've been tested over it. You sit around Fuckerbook long enough, and women will be coming at you from every different direction to test your resolve, to see if you are a weak man. And talk shit up the yin yang about you if you are not a weak man, if you are an alpha male. They'll say just about anything to trip you up, piss you off, make you feel, judge you, make you feel like you're being inappropriate. Inappropriate according to who? Them? Well, I don't care what they want. I will give them what they want when I get what I want. And it's just not going to happen any other way. Even if they try, they fail. And then, of course, I probably get labeled something, in the background because they didn't get over. If anybody's going to get over the rest of my life, it's going to be me. And not in a selfish manner. Just what I'm putting out front is that if that's what you're about and that's what you're looking for, you're not looking for me. Because I will marry a particular kind of woman. I will marry one that is not trying to make me a beta male, make me step to her tune, do all the things that society tells you should do when it comes to women. I was in a group a couple of weeks ago, and somebody put a post out asking if you took a woman to a restaurant on the first date, would you want to pay for yourself? Would you want the man to pay? Would you order anything on the menu? Is there a limit to what you would order if he was paying, and blah, 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 blah. So I got in there and said, well, I'm not taking her to an expensive restaurant. I'm not taking her to a restaurant at all on a first date. See, the first date, you don't know that person yet. So why would you go out on a limb spending all kinds of money on somebody you don't know you're gonna like, let alone want to get with or anything else you want to do? In other words, be honest, be direct, put it out there what you want, and at the same time be charming. Know what to say, know what not to say, know when to shut up, know when to listen, know when not. I mean, I've got a lot to learn, okay, about from that particular man's point of view, how to step into being an alpha male and forever, and not ever slip back into just being a pawn in a woman's chess game. Not gonna go down like that anymore, folks. I'm declaring it. I'm definitely, my actions, my words, everything is going to be in sync. Because I don't want to be one of those people out there, again, whining and crying and complaining and all of these things about how I was mistreated in a relationship. She won't even get a chance to do that, because I see anything resembling it, whether I say anything out loud or not, she's history. So yeah, women are raised a particular way in this society. They're raised to go off certain cues of men to test whether you're a weak man or a strong man. So the question I'm going to put to you out there is, are you strong or are you weak? If you're strong, I better not see you out there whining and sniveling that you got used, that you got abused, that you got mistreated by a woman. If you stood there for that, then you're being weak. If you thought somehow you were gonna change her doing that to you, you're weak. You can say you're strong all day long, and you can say you're alpha all day long, but if you don't act like a man, an alpha man, then you're not an alpha man. And you've got to switch it up. You've got to learn how to undo many of the behaviors and things that society told you is what a man is. You have to determine what a man is, what you're going to put up with, what you're not going to put up with, how you're going to run your show called your life. It's entirely up to you. And with professional athletes, in order for them to shine, in order for them to do a lot of what they do, they need coaches, right? And they need mentors. So find you a mentor who isn't full of crap. And you can tell if they're full of crap. You can tell they're full of it if they tell you to do something and you do it, it doesn't work. Now, does that mean they're a bad guy? No. It just means that's not your mentor. That's not the one you should be listening to if everything they tell you to do doesn't work for becoming a man. Not particularly for how to deal with women, unless they really have a track record of knowing how to do that. So yeah, there's a lot of lines that can be crossed with this. You gotta think. You gotta think, and you've got to practice the ideologies of different men in order to know what works and what doesn't work. What defines you as a strong person or what defines you as a weak one. And you got to tell the truth to yourself. And you got to tell the truth to your mentors, your coaches, your teachers. They got your back. If they got your back, then be honest. Don't push out your chest and put out this big ego game while in the background everything you're doing is killing you and is hurting you and is opening up the door to being used, abused, tarnished, all sorts of crap because you allowed it to happen. I think I touched on that a little while I was going through it with this woman, that I kept allowing it to happen and I kept wondering why I was allowing it to happen. Well, it was because I didn't know any other way to be. Yeah, I didn't know. And she knew I didn't know. So she just took advantage of that. The minute I put my foot down to that woman, she disappeared to go find a beta male, probably, or a lesbian that she could control. Alpha males are not controllable. They're not. And if people out there try to do that, they're just crab trying to pull you back down into their bucket of misery. And yeah, like that, trying to pull you back down into their bucket of misery so that, you know, they can feel comfortable about where they are. No, thank you. I'll stand out. I'll stand away. I will stand on my own because I'm going to get what I want. versus what she wants. So that's it, folks. I just wanted to, yes, and it's going to be a topic. I don't know if it'll be the end of February. I think probably, yeah, the last Sunday of February. I don't think anything is going on nationally. I don't think. So I'll be using this as a flyer to put into various places, well, Fuckerbook platform, to see what men have enough nerve to get out and talk about this stuff, this topic, because it's not going to make you look popular. And I'm not the type of guy to bring up popular topics anyway. I bring up tough topics. I bring up stuff that's real. I am real. I don't put on airs, and I don't try to, I'm not Pokemon. I'm not going to get 1 million hits because the things I talk about aren't a game. They aren't Pokemon. They aren't games. This is my life. The next time will be the last time, or I'll just play the rest of my life. I don't care. All I know is I'm not going to just ever step again to the tune of what somebody else wants. If I'm not getting what I want, they're not the one for me. With that, I will bid everybody adieu. Have a great weekend. And the pollinator is out.